What's going on? I am Derek Leonard of BigdGuitars. I am one of the judges in the Great Guitar Build-Off of 2021. The Great Guitar Build-Off is a competition between guitar builders worldwide, and I took second last year in the Invitational contest. The Great Guitar Build-Off exists to provide those less fortunate with access to guitar building tools, courses, instructions, etc. So I posted a video earlier this week on my top 5 for the scratch build and the kit build, and then from that I was supposed to rank those guitars in order. So I posted the video. There's a little bit of confusion of who and what that list was. I misread the email slightly, sort of followed the directions, but I wanted to follow up and do the ranking as well. I did watch all of the videos for the guitars that were submitted in the top 10. So this was the list that was voted on by people who had submitted votes for the Great Guitar Build-Off, and then Crimson Guitars pick the top 10 vote getters, and then from the judges we're going to go through and submit our top 5. I spent probably about 4 to 5 hours on Sunday getting to my top 5, and then for me it was pretty obvious on which ones were sort of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from that list. To be honest, guys, I was surprised by some of the guitars that did not make the list of the top 10. There were a number of guitars on that were incredibly awesome that weren't even in the top 10. So that was sort of a disappointment in the way the voting turns out, but that's the way it happens. Here are the top 10 finalists for the scratch build: Isaac, Lorenzo, Benjamin, Jason, Anthony, Majay, Michael, Alex, Roberto, and Christian. So like I said, I thought there were other guitars that could have made the top 10, but this is the list that was given to me. So we will go in order from 5 to 1. Number 5 for me was Jason Makes. This was the Medusa. Really awesome intricate carving on the snakes and the face. Really nicely done. The one thing that I was looking for was maybe wooden pickup rings that matched the carving, even the knob. That's one thing I think it would have put it over the edge just slightly. And then I thought the inlay that he had done on the fretboard could have stood out just slightly a little bit more. I watched that video and saw him doing all that work, and in the picture it just doesn't come through. So having to just look at these via pictures versus playing it in hand is kind of hard to do, but that's my 2 critiques on it. And then number 4 for me was Michael Van Den Uden. I really like this guitar. I really do. I love the pickguard and the way it was done. The knobs match the intricate gluing that he had done. I love the inlay at the 12th fret there, and then I also love just the detail work put into the knobs here. This specifically is what put it over the edge in terms of just the fine little detail work. I know how hard it is to get this set up, and then he's got the inlay with a side dot, and that just looks so killer. Love the detail on the headstock here as well as a truss rod cover, and then the hardware gold themed just matches really nicely. Really nicely done guitar. Would love to play this thing. Just overall really neat. So then number 2, I have a tie for number 2 in the scratch build, and that is between Anthony and Majay, and I really struggled with ranking these one ahead of the other. I love the intricate detail on the 355 style guitar. I know this is a lot of work. This is a hammered copper top. One of the things I really did like was carrying through the design. The only negative I had, and I posted this in another video, was the screws didn't match the vibe of the body. So either they needed to be aged or a different screw, like a brass screw. That was my only sort of critique, but the overall vibe and feel of it was just so beautifully done. Love the volute, love the, I guess I said 11 or 12 piece neck, whatever it is. Just really nicely done. Really thought this guitar looked great. And then similar with Mache, I love this guitar as well. I love the design. This is something that I've wanted to do in my head for a while. It fits the vibe of the guitar, carried it through to the headstock, had the gold hardware with the knobs. I mean, it all matches, just beautifully done. Really enjoyed watching this video. Kind of went through all the videos to kind of get an understanding of how this was done, and really overall just beautifully done. That's why I have sort of number 2 and number 2. The amount of work that went into these guitars is amazing. I mean, really intricately done. I think both of these guitars are even better than the Invitational, and I'll just leave it at that. These are beautiful guitars. I would want both of these guitars and really would want to play both of them. So then the winner for me in the scratch build was Isaac. And being a woodworker and loving wood grain, this guitar had it all for me. Just beautiful custom shape. Not a huge fan of fan frets and sort of multi-scale length guitars. I don't like them, but this one works. It's only done slightly, but the detail work on this guitar, the lines of the guitar are just absolutely beautiful, and he incorporated a couple of design elements that I will call out here that really sealed the deal. The inlay on the front was done by hand. It was drawn out, and then he hammered it in, which I think was really nicely done. That's something that you can do without even having a CNC. It's also a multi-laminate where you get these beautiful lines running through this, so you see that in the carved top or routed top. I don't really know how you would call that, but just the shape matches up perfectly. These horns all match up so nicely, and then you've got this nice carve on the bottom. It's just really nicely done. The neck was scalloped, or I guess, I don't know what you call this, speed enhanced, so it removes some of it, so you've got a little bit more, less material to go at it. The truss rod cover was done beautifully. The inlay at the top was done nice, and then he even recessed the tuners into the neck with a carve. It's just beautiful. The lines flow so well on this guitar. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4-piece top here. Just beautiful. I mean, really, look at the intricate detail here. You got the ebony, maple, ebony, like, just beautiful. Beautiful guitar. The lines of this are outstanding. So this is my winner for the scratch build of the Great Guitar Build-Off. I really liked this guitar top to bottom. It's one that I would love to play and look at. Really beautiful. And me being a woodworker and having watched my grandfather work with maple for, I don't know, 20-something years, his big thing was walnut and maple, and this guitar incorporates sort of two things that were ingrained in my head growing up. I think he probably could have done custom knobs. That was the one negative that I didn't like in this. You know, he had the cutoffs from the top. I thought maybe he could have made custom knobs from that would have matched just slightly better. You know, you saw that in Michael's that I really liked, but that would probably be the only negative I have on this. So that is my number one for the Great Guitar Build-Off scratch build. Thanks for watching, guys. We will do the kit build next.